Okay. Bear with me a sec while we get set up. Okay, I think we're ready. So, bear with me a sec while we get set up. So this was originally going to be sort of review / overview of UVI Falcon, but in all honesty, I've done what I do with every time I get a new synth. I've just jumped straight into it and tried to learn it on the fly. It's a little bit tricky, this one, compared to some synths I've used. So I went and watched some videos on YouTube. There's some good sort of step-by-step videos already out there, overviews and reviews in one, sort of showing you what this thing can do. It goes over the basic oscillators and stuff, talks about the different layers and the key groups, and the way you can have effects on different levels and stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to jump straight in there and start making some sounds with it. I'm going to use some MIDI from a Music Tech DVD. I'm just going to drag in some amps and some plucks and some things like that and just make some sounds on the go. So let's have a go at a pad sort of sound first. Let's get a nice chord progression. So yeah, this is how Falcons broke up. You've got the program, which is the very, very fundamental of the layer. You can't really do much to this. You can add effects and modulation sources to it, but this pretty much gives you control over the overall volume, the pan. This streaming, I've read a little bit into this. This is just a way, I think, of it saving CPU. I'm not too sure, as I say. When we add an oscillator in a section, these octave, semi and poly and stuff are going to light up. But to start with, what we want to do is in the key group mapping section, we want to create a key group. And we want to start with a synth template. That automatically, in the mapping section, mods everything across all of the keys. I'm quickly going to have to do my keyboard in the options, preferences, controllers, complete control, door 1. See if that works. Does that send in MIDI? Should be. Options, preferences. Okay. Let's do away with this and get open in Ableton. I've been having some problems with Ableton crashing. That's why I wanted to do it in Bitwig, but we'll see how we get on. So, complete control. Let's load it inside complete control. Files, library, user. Plugins, UVI Falcon. Okay, right, let's find some MIDI again. Let's go to, where are we? Places. Add a folder, PC, D, there we go, samples, Equinox sounds, orchestral trance, MIDI construction kits, kit 11, okay, it was the string intro, intro. There we go. So let's go into Falcon now. As I say, we want to create a quick mapping group. I can change the size of this. View. Preferences. Close. There was a way for me to change the size of this screen. Oh well, we can just fit it all on. So yeah, in the mapping section, we want to create a key group synth template. This automatically maps everything across the keys for you. If you go down the bottom here, if you look at this section at the bottom with the amp envelope, you've got control standard amp envelope. It automatically loads for you. This, you've got standard attack, decay, sustain, release. Then you've got this dynamic. This is like your velocity. If you turn the velocity to 0 dB, every time you press a key, it's the same volume. I like to use this when I'm making sounds and just doing sound designing generally. So let's show you just the basic analog waveforms. Let's make a pad using this. Just about one basic analog waveform, shall we? So you've got choice over sine, saw, square, triangle, another noise, or a pulse. The pulse is very, very thin. You have pulse width modulation on the pulse or a square. So to start with, we'll choose the saw. Very, very analog sounding waveforms. These are really good. Pulse width. Makes the square a bit thinner. Start phase. You can modulate that, gives some neat effects. Hard sync does exactly what you'd think. You can modulate this with an LFO. You almost get like a detuning sort of effect. Won't do the hard sync for now. We're going to crank the voices up though. We're going to push these right up to 8. Turn the stereo on, pushes them wide. This UVI is in 10.1 surround. Not that you can listen to that on monitors, but I think it's designed for people using it for film score. So standard detune of these voices. Unison. Stereo spread pushes the new voices wider. Let's make sure we're on reduced latency. So that's really quite a thick wide sound already. If we go ahead and add another analog oscillator, you can see you can just keep stacking them along here. You can have as many oscillators as you want. It just keeps going. To click, as soon as you click on one, it goes back to it. Obviously that's the first one we've created. If we change this one to a square, we'll solo it for now. Give this some unison as well. One thing I'm a little bit disappointed with, or maybe it's something I'm missing, is I would like to have individual volume control over each oscillator. I'm not too sure whether that's something you can do. It's clipping now straight away. Let's bring in the sawtooth again. So let's modulate the pulse width. I'll show you how you can introduce effects now. When you're in the oscillator section, you can see you haven't really got any choice of adding effects directly, but you can go into the effects section and drag effects onto what you want it to do. It's as simple as that. So you go to the modulation section actually. So we want an LFO, just a basic LFO, drag it, drop it on the pulse width, bam, modulation section at the bottom, oscillator to pulse width mod. It's already there for you to go. The LFO is there. These are all the different modulation boxes that you can use. To sync the LFO to the clock, you do that. You click it on the metronome sort of looking thing. You can see the effect it's having. We're on a sine wave, so it's pretty erratic. We'll change it to a triangle wave. Your modulation amount is this slider here. It's bipolar. So it always swings off axis. I think you can change that somehow. Inverted. I do not know what the modulator mapper is yet. But yeah, let's bring the modulation amount down. Maybe, now it's synced to the clock, maybe change the speed of it a little bit faster. It's all classic control. Ah, here we go, bipolar. You can change it to unipolar, so the modulation only goes one way. And in this instance, we want it bipolar. We want it to swing off the axis. Lovely, coming together already. Say the phase is the phase of the LFO, frequency is the rate, and the depth is how much the modulation affects. Delay, rise and smooth, these are all ways of controlling how long it takes the delay to come in. A delay is a delay in seconds of how long it takes before the LFO even starts. You then have choice of a rise, it brings it in gradually, the volume of the LFO. Smooth, you can smooth the peaks and troughs out on a triangle to sort of change it to roughly a sine wave. So let's go back to the main amp envelope now, start to make it sound a bit more like a pad. Let's quickly go to this MIDI clip. Let's half time this so everything works a bit quicker. So if we back the attack off, give it a bit of release. Okay, right, let's start messing around with the layer options that we've got now. As I say, you have control over overall octave, semitone, and the polyphony. We'll crank the polyphony up, we'll give it a load of voices. Why is my spacer bar not working? So we can now introduce unison. Quite a big sound already, just adding a little bit of unison. So you can insert effects at pretty much any layer. You can add layers inside the program. You can add different key groups inside layers. and obviously loads of different oscillators inside the key group. You can change the key grouping around. You can sort of drag this around so that this oscillator only goes across a few notes or the whole keyboard. You can then drag other oscillators into individual sections so you can map everything across the keyboard. So yeah, let's add some effects just at the layer level. The program is sort of master effects. I'm sure these are going to be things like EQing and stuff at the end, but let's add an effect at the layer level. To do that, you can click on the effect. When it's highlighted, bing, it brings a list of all the effects in this box here, what you can use. So at the minute there's nothing there. I'm going to add a modulation in chorus, analog chorus default. We'll set the chorus up ourselves. I was hoping for there to be some classic chorus type controls like delay and feedback. Let's try one of the other choruses. Modulation, analog chorus, chorus. That's the one we just had. Chorus phaser, chorus speed, delay. Here we go. Turn the mix down to maybe 50%. To add more effects in the chain, I'm not too sure whether you can drag the... Yeah, you can. When we have effects in the chain, you can drag them left or right in which order they want. We're going to want a reverb now after the chorus, so if we choose a reverb, this spark verb, this is a very, very, very powerful reverb. I'm most impressed with this out of all of the effects. Really do have a lot of control over this reverb. You've got everything you could want. You've got size and shape of the reverb. Shape, I'll have to read the manual to see what this does. It doesn't show anything on the graphical display. Pre-delay is pretty much exactly what you think of. Density, you could almost think of this as like the room size, low, medium and high for a larger room. Modulation, this modulates the pitch of the reverb inside the reverb signal. I know this because I tested it myself yesterday. The depth is how far it sort of pitches the reverb. Let's put the amp attack on full a second and I'll show you. When I let the reverb go, you can hear it detuning and you can hear the modulation on that detuning. Very, very neat. I don't think I've ever had a modulation like that that you can control. The Virus has something similar on its reverb, but it's just a depth. You haven't got control over the rate or the mode. yeah, very neat, being able to control the pitch of the reverb tail. And then this is like your EQ of the overall decay. I mean, you can put a standard high pass filter on it, or a low pass, or you can control it yourself, telling it how much of the lows you want to decay or how much of the highs. And the crossover is like the difference between the two. You can see it's like a, if we boost it, it's like a low shelf and then a high shelf. Let's really boost the highs and cut the lows. What a bit of kit that reverb is. Yeah, let's play this clip over again. Okay, we're getting somewhere now. Let's just say to change the routing, you just drag the chorus in front of the reverb, or the reverb after the chorus. It's as simple as that. It just changes it around in the effects chain. If we go to master, or where is the effects bit? Effects. Yeah, you can put master effects on. You've got a master effects X section where you can just drop things that go on the whole thing. That's if you wanted to create multiple layers inside the program. But yeah, we don't need to do that for now. Let's go to string ensemble, master, guitar, drums. What else can we add? We've got some brilliant filters in here. We've got vowel filters, wow filters. In the modulation section, we've got flanges, phasers, rotary. That's based on the Hammond sort of rotary speakers like you get in the Virus and other things like that. Let's try that. So if we add another effect in the modulation, if we go to rotary default, we're going to want that before the reverb, after the chorus maybe. Let's solo the rotary. That's very clever. It's got a built-in tremolo as well. If you set the speed mode to tremolo, you don't have control over the individual speed of the tremolo. If you set it to break, it's a lot slower. Dried something like that. Further away the distance, the less prominent the effect is. Let's bring in the chorus again and the reverb. Not actually adding much to the sound, so we'll do away with it. If anything, it's cutting parts of the sound. That'll do for now. Let's bring in another instance of complete control. We'll load Falcon in again. We'll add another layer. Plugins, UVI Falcon. So if we stop that, if we search for that MIDI again, let's try an ARP sort of sound. We can have a look at this sort of Pluck oscillator. So yeah, you have as well as normal sort of oscillators, you have these things called Pluck oscillator. It's almost like a sample based thing. You can drag things into it and then use it to create a neat pluck sound. So yeah, we're going to go to the mapping preset again. I like to start with this synth template because it does all the key mapping for you without having to worry too much about setting all your zones up and stuff. So let's add the pluck. You can drag and drop any sampler now. I did some neat things with a snare, so let's do that. Let's move that over for a sec. Let's look in my DB samples folder and bring in a snare. Once my hard drive's decided to wake up. Just a basic clubby sort of snare. Right, so if we pull the synth down, it will return back to the original snare. Or does it? Ah, because it's got all this other stuff engaged. Let's have a look. Obviously it's changed it. I'm not too sure what it does, if I'm honest, but it just changes it. Everything, and adds sort of string tuning and coupling. It adds, you can pitch it. Pitch it up. In harmonicity sort of smears it. More like a pluck. Pick flicker. Load preset. Analog. No. Let's try this then. Okay, so it's a bit crazy at the minute. I want to try and make it a bit more of a pluck. Let's pitch it back down to its original pitch. Where were we? Where did I do that? Yeah. So I've managed to smear that again somehow, haven't I? There we go. So let's add an envelope to that roll off, which is almost like a built-in filter. The way we do that is we go to your modulations, which this little box here. We're going to choose a classic analog ADSR, and we're going to drop it on that roll off. Bing. And then it comes up like oscillator, excitation, cutoff. So it's already done for you. The modulation's mapped to maximum. I was having problems with this the other day. For some reason it didn't I couldn't get anything to modulate that. That's because you can't in the actual oscillator section. There's no way of doing it. No idea what that mapping editor is, but yeah, for some reason I had real problems modulating certain parameters with it. I got in touch with the people that make it, and they weren't very clear. For some reason you can't, I don't know why you can't modulate some of these parameters in this section. You can modulate parameters in the FX section or the key group or the layers section, but yeah, I must have to read the manual a bit more. Okay, let's do it a different way. Let's apply a filter to the layer, and then we'll apply some modulation to that. So let's apply just a bog standard analog filter. Let's try adding an envelope to that. No, it's not working either. Let's try on the key group. I'm quite sure you can do it on the key group. I've definitely managed to do it the other day. For some reason, I don't know why it doesn't let you do it here. It's very, very strange. Maybe I am doing something wrong, but let's try it on the key group stage. Let's try and add a effect as a filter again. An analog ADSR. There we go. Basic analog oscillator with this. Yeah, well, I should read the manual a bit more. I really want individual control of volume per oscillator. You must be able to do it somehow. Something's still detuning what I've done with this somehow. Let's remove that oscillator altogether. Try a different filter. Let's try low pass 24. There we go, that's better. Hi. How's it going? Won't let me have a delay at this stage for some reason. Let's try and add it up here. It's a really unique graphical display on this. This shows the stereo position, left and right, obviously left at the top, right at the bottom, and this shows the phase over time. Very, very clever. Where you gone? I want a multi-tap delay. Let's see if I do one. Delay, tape delay, 1-4 tube, 116 retro, spring stereo, spring delay. Let's see if we can add another layer. I don't know how. Part 1, new part, program, layer, part 1, instrument, part, plus, is that responding to the same MIDI? So yeah, managed to create a new program there and assign it to the same sort of channel, which was A1. You got 16 different channels, which is really clever. And if I can assign it to a different channel but have the same MIDI effect in it, I wouldn't know how to do that. We'll keep it like this for now. So I've just loaded a snare in there. We're going to apply an envelope to this as well. Not an envelope. At the key group stage, you must remember at the key group stage, we're going to add a filter, a low pass 24. And we're going to use an ADSR. We'll just use an attack decay one. This saves you having to mess around with the sustain and hold. It's going to add a bit of percussion to the pluck. Go to the mixer section. Dragging that same sample into the stretch oscillator. Let's try the granular instead. Maybe we add a bit of reverb to this one. On the key group stage again, plus reverb for diffusion. Well, let me use that spark verb. Maybe it's because it's already being reused on another layer, I'm not sure. Let's try it on the layer. Yeah. fun. Okay, let's try and we'll load another instance of complete control. We're going to load Falcon inside it again. We're going to have a go at the wavetable oscillator now. Try and create some sort of drone or something. What am I doing? Plugins, UVI Falcon. So yeah, we're going to see that synth template in the key group again. Come with complete 10. No, it does not come with complete 10. No, this is UVI Falcon. It is awesome. I was lucky enough to get in contact with the guys over at UVI to get Falcon. I'm just running this inside Complete Control, which I got my new Complete Controller yesterday, so I've got it all set up to run plugins, and it just easily lets me use the arpeggiator and stuff. As you can see, let's go back. So yeah, I was lucky enough to get in touch with the guys at UVI and ask them if I could have a copy to do an analysis sort of review for this sort of purpose for my YouTube channel, and they said yeah. So I got it on an NFR. How long? I don't know whether it's permanent or not, but big up to the guys over there for giving it to me. So let's turn the amp off. So yeah, we're going to show you this wavetable oscillator now. So instead of an analog oscillator, if we add, we've got noise organ, we've done the pluck and the analog. I'll show you the analog stack actually. It's exactly what you would think. You can choose each different waveform. Pitch them. We'll do another sawtooth. So they're an octave apart now. Change the phase. Pull switch slightly. Volume over each one. So if we just do a big saw to saw wave stack, let's do this one up 5 semis. So another saw, let's do this one up 7. Seven's not sounding good. Let's keep it on 5. Them all on the same semitone to make it easier actually. Detune them all, separate amounts. Just like creating your own unison really. We could then add a couple of sine wave bass ones pitched down low. We could have a square. Gotta be careful with your detuning amounts. Analog stack, it's basically like an additive synth. If anybody's got Synth Master, there's a synth engine inside that which does this the same. Very, very good, very, very easy to stack your sounds up. Make some really cool sounds. I'll just show you the drive effect while we're making something this sort of sound. Let's pitch everything back to the center again. Surely there's a alt click to get everything back to normal. Control Alt. Yeah, Control Alt click gets everything back to normal wise. So yeah, let's show you some of these drive effects can do on the key group again. If we add an effects, drive distortion, I use one. The wave shaper is just crazy, but this UVI drive is very, very clever. Bandpass filter, so you can really aim it. You can widen the curve. Let's try one of the different ones. Let's try fuzz, overdrive. Let's try the wave shaper. I know this is a real heavy sort of distortion. You can really add some grit to your lead sort of sounds with this. 8 oscillators is nothing, mate. That's 8 single waveforms. You can then look in this analog stack. I can then add another oscillator, another analog stack. I can add another analog stack. You can just keep going. So I could have 3 of these analog stacks, all with different waveforms. It's absolutely massive. It's the effects. I can't begin to explain how good the effects are either. Show you this. Sorry if you think I'm I wonder if my CPU can handle that. Well, I've got a real powerful PC anyway, so I'm pretty much it can handle anything. But yeah, I haven't had any problems with it so far, even with a lot of unison. Let's try cranking unison up. Let's turn it down a bit. Something's gone on. What have I done? So let's do some unison. 21 voices unison. Still only hovering around 17%. Let's turn all of these oscillators on. That's the distortion, isn't it, causing us that trouble. Let's do away with that. Yeah, just like operator. Except it's not an FM synth. There is an FM synth in here. So yeah, anyway, we're getting lost here. Let's do away with this. We'll start another one. I was going to show you the wave. The whatchamacall? I lost my head now. Plugins. UVI Falcon. I was going to show you the wavetable oscillator, which I will now do. So we're going to go ahead, create another synth style key macking group. We'll do away with the analog oscillator and we'll add a wavetable. Right, this is where it gets really interesting. If anybody's bought Serum, I'm sure if you're subscribed to me, then most of you are going to have Serum. Or you're well aware of what Serum can do in regards to it being a wavetable oscillator, obviously. So yeah, this is no different. You've got a lot of controls. You've obviously got all the basic controls in regards to unison, your pitch and stuff, in regards to the program and the layout and the key group section. But the wavetable, you've got a wave index which sweeps through the wavetable. You've also got phase distortion of that wavetable, and you can do it at the same time. And So these are some of the wavetables we've got. We've got basic analog style wavetables, classic waveforms from like, most of these look like the ones you get inside the virus. You've got additive waveforms as well. Most of these parabolic ones are the sort of things that you get inside FM8. Some of these are going to be classic waveforms as well. Look, oddie squares, portobello sine. I mean, that looks like the virus sawtooth. But then when it gets funny, when you go into these multi ones, brutal, ultra, brutal saw, big square sync, triangle bass ones. I don't know if there's any way to get your own wavetables in here yet, but let's choose this one, double growl. This is a good time to showcase the multi-stage envelopes. You have step envelopes, a drunk LFO, which is like the chaos one inside Serum. It adds a bit of sporadicness and sort of like sample and hold, if you like. You've got attack, hold, decay, analog ADSR, attack, decay. You've got decay, attack, delay, attack, hold, decay, sustain, release. It's just like a version of the typical ADSR envelope. A lot of synths nowadays are incorporating the delay at the front. You can do it inside massive. So yeah, we're going to use a multi-stage envelope. Anybody who knows me knows the way I design sounds. These multi-stage envelopes are a godsend. You can zoom in or out just by scrolling the wheel. You can add as many points as you want. Let's stretch these points out. Sync it to the clock as well. If we get the metronome going inside Ableton. You can set it to loop between points as well, which is really, really clever. So this is like your attack time, if you like. I mean, you can add more points in between this loop stage, but in between these two orange bits is like your loop section, so you can see it's highlighted as well. So you can draw crazy envelopes coming up to that if you want. I mean, we can zoom out, draw some shapes going up to it. We drag these out again. When it gets to this loop point, when it gets to these two orange balls, it's just going to loop it over and over. What a bit of kit. Very cool. Same thing again. This is your modulation mount. So yeah, it's a dubstep machine in a nutshell, and you can stack as many of these wavetables together as you want. I mean, we can then spread these waves. If we give it new voices. Stereo them, new voices. I think they sound more clear on just one oscillator. Let's add some distortion on this bad boy now. So at the key group stage again, we're going to add an effect, drive and distortion, an exciter. Okay, then we can have some real fun. I mean, I say that's just one wavetable oscillator. If you want to add just a basic analog oscillator as a sine wave, just to reinforce the load. A couple of voices. Very, very cool. Let's talk a little bit about this multi-stage envelope again while we're down here. You've got automatic velocity mapping to envelope amount. You've got speed of this envelope. Once you set it to loop mode, it's on a re-trigger. We've got it set to the clock. We don't want bipolar. You can change the speed that the envelope works at. It's on one, it's going to be on BPM, I would think. You can set it to legato as well, so if you keep one note down then switch to the other, the envelope carries on. So you release and then start an key. Yeah, infinite possibilities make this machine. So yeah, you can set it to bipolar where your modulation goes up and negative, which you're not going to want for a tool like this. What's this I do here? Zoom edit. Whoa. This thing just keeps popping up stuff that you didn't even know it had. How do you delete a point? Remove point. Control right click. Shift and right click. Oh no, don't do it. Well, we did well to get that far. What a ball bag. Turn it back on quick. I'll quickly show you some of the other oscillators before I go. What a fucker. Plugins, UVI Falcon. Okay, right, so let's quickly go over, just quickly look at some of the other oscillators quickly. I haven't even begun to scratch the surface of what this thing can do. I haven't even dragged no loops in to show you how you can chop these loops up. That's going to have to be another time. But yeah, as well as the analog oscillators, you've got drum synths. Quickly look at that. Change the attack decay. You change the waveform. The rate of the pitch modulation. Depth. That's how you get your percussive hit at the start. Compared to Serum. Yeah, I mean, I have Serum. Sorry, again, I'm just replying to a comment. He says, interested to see how Falcon is CPU-wise. It's hard for me to say. I mean, I spent a lot on a good PC, so it's not really something that affects me personally. Serum does, if you use a lot of instances of Serum, it can max out your CPU. I'm only just getting used to this. I haven't used it to make a whole track. I might do something like that tomorrow. But yeah, it seems to be okay at the minute. I mean, if you stack 20 oscillators in a row, I'm sure you're going to max out your voice is pretty quick. Yeah, if you're going to get this Falcon, I'll suggest you get it now because it's at $220 and then it's going to go up to 300 and something in a couple of days. So I would, from what I've seen, I would recommend this to anybody. So don't delay. So yeah, anyway, you got that basic drum synth. You got all your basic options. So I ain't going to go too much into that. It's basic. You then got a noise generator. Majestic, Crackle, Band, which doesn't do anything, Violet, Velvet, basic noise generator, everybody wants one of them. You've then got this organ, this is really cool. Again, does exactly what you would think, it emulates an organ. This introduces different sort of harmonics, if you like, to the organ. Not something I'm going to need personally because I've got a Contact and I've got Scarby and retro machines and things like that. But yeah, there you have it. You have an organ one in there. The Pluck we've been over, the wavetable one, the FM one I haven't shown you quickly. I'm definitely going to do a lot more tutorials on this. I'll probably do an actual review at the end of the weekend as well. Try and explain it a little bit better. So yeah, we've got a basic FM oscillator. Not sure what the waves are, but I'll take it they're all sine waves. You got your basic FM options there. It tells you there. It's a bit small. A, B, C, D all separate to the output. You can have A, B and C going into D. All your basic options. Let's choose a sort of flow through this one. So A is going to go into B. Your ratio is your pitch. Again, it's limitless, isn't it? So if we go to modulation, then if we apply an analog attack decay onto that, again, it's not working. Why you can't modulate any parameters in the oscillator section still is confusing me. So a real basic FM synthesizer. Let's load a preset. I haven't tried doing this yet. I don't even know how to do it. There we go. Recent multis, save multi, new load program. No. Okay. Close. Recent program. Tree list part. Oh, sorry, I don't even know how to load a preset. I haven't even looked into that. Main mixer performance. Oh, you can create about 1 million macros as well, which I need to look into. And just assign loads of stuff to it. Parts. How do we load one then? How do we load a preset? Load program, new program. Let's get out of complete control because this might be restricting us. Let's try and quickly UVI Falcon. Sound banks, places, devices. Here we go. Let's have a look at some of the wavetable presets. Oh, this isn't presets. They're effects back. These are effects groups sort of things. Falcon resources. No, don't even know how to load a preset. Oh well. I hope this is a good enough I've been waffling for about an hour or so now, so yeah, I hope you've enjoyed it. Yeah, I'm going to get stuck in and really make some sort of gritty sounds of it tomorrow, and show you guys what it can really do. But yeah, for now, that's been it. Thanks for watching again. Hope you enjoyed it. This will be up on my YouTube channel in about half hour, I would have thought, when it finishes encoding. But yeah, as always, thanks for watching. Cheers.